I'm afraid the boat is going to break me.
Sometimes it feels like the more you want something to be done and done quickly, the harder it is and the more mistakes you make.
The girls both took turns having mental breakdowns. At least they didn't do it on the same day, because I don't know what I would have done.
The first week that we were in Turks and Caicos, we were still running off of the adrenaline of the sail and getting everything sorted and ordered. And then I think by the second week, especially with Julia leaving, we were all sad and it just started to plummet, and the damage that the sail did on our nerves really started to take a hold and we started to make mistakes.
Hi, my name is Jocelyn. In 2019, I bought a 38-foot sailboat and filled it with my best friends. We named her the Belafonte, and together we're sailing the world, proving that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. This is Sea Sondering. I probably went up the mast like 15 times. I know I went up the mast 3 times in the first day we were there.
Today we are starting to replace our forestay. Step 1 in the process of replacing your forestay, according to us, take your sail down so you have a bare furler, and then bring the furler up so that you can loosen the stay.
Step 1, tie up a different forestay so when you undo your forestay, your mast doesn't fall down. We did 2. This one and that one. So the first thing we're doing is taking this furler, pulling the furler up so we can loosen the forestay. So hopefully the forestay comes off easier. There's no manual for what we're doing. Oh, I did not see this. To make the ease of taking this thing off more better. If you're watching this and need help with your rigging and in the area of the Belafonte, we'd be happy to help you for a low price of $150 an hour. I started to lose my mind a bit working in the heat and working non-stop with a project that I had no idea really how to do. Loose butthole. Once you get your forestay super loose, it will no longer twang in the key of C, okay? It will be a very, very, very low G. Then you know it will be loose enough to take off the boat. Look at this, it spins like butter. You could not sail, look at this, this is so loose, it is. Sigh is blowing in the wind.
We just put a really heavily purchased line connecting the forestay to the boat so that when we release it here, that it isn't a shock on the line and we can then loosen it with the rope slowly.
Things are not in the line of fire, so right now my face is in the line of fire. If I undo it, it will hit it like that. So you just offset your face like this. A very, very technical stuff doing here, okay? It might. No one knows what's gonna happen. And then we film it. It's a documentary.
Who's going overboard?
She out!
The problem with dropping all of our pins in the water is that, as we later found out, they have no pins on Turks and Caicos. At least not the ones that we need.
So we have a rule on the Belafonte: if you drop it in the drink, you know, if you go for a sink. One, two. One, two. Very nerve-wracking climbing this thing without a forestay, proper forestay attached. Nothing like boat work underwater and 50 feet in the air, hey? I should really put a pulley here. Luckily, I have one. Shout out, thank you, Viadana Blocks, for sending us blocks. Oh, I met Jeff from Viadana at the boat show, and he was so kind to help us out. Send us some blocks for the boat, and they've come in super handy. We even replaced our main sheet. This rope was given to us by our friend Will. Thank you, Will Harding. It's one of our favorite rope. The best thing about not really knowing what you're doing is if I come to a roadblock, I just create a different solution instead of thinking to myself, there's only one way to do it. Hanging from the top of the mast with my legs going numb and fiddling around with tools was an experience. And the whole time I was just winging it. Like, I didn't know. I knew we had to bring the forestay down. I didn't really know what that entailed besides like tie a lot of lines to it to make sure it didn't just drop to the ground. And that's pretty much what I did. Okay, there we go. Now, where am I gonna tie this guy off to? That's our next situation. Always go up the mast with a bunch of tools. Never think about what is holding you up on the mast. Okay, Ellie. Yeah? I need to get a lot of tension on this Dyneema now because it's gonna be the thing that's gonna pull up the forestay higher than the pin. And so what I've done is I've rigged up a line holding the forestay, and I went through a pulley, and now I need to get enough tension on it for it to like feel like you're actually supporting the forestay so I can undo the pin. So any way you can pull it and then tie it to like a cleat. Yeah, bit more. Good. Okay, can you lock that off? Trick is gonna be getting it out without flying it into the drink. Well, you already lost your first one. Doink! Just so you can see me up here. This is the rest of my view. I'm just gonna untie this now and lower it down. So here's the bite I tied that held, and this was a backup in case the bite slipped up or anything like that. That was like a backup tied into there.
I knew it was going to be heavy pulling it, but that was so much heavier and harder than I was expecting, and it's so hot and slippery out, and my feet were slipping on the dock and my hands are like red and torn up.
High intensity, that was a high intense moment, and even from when I was lowering it was pulling me, and I was like, holy, you got definitely pulling Ellie.
Yeah, just trying to displace a lot of weight.
Two guys on the dock jumped in to like help hold, and they grabbed the wrong spot, and Ellie's like, don't grab there. And I was like, just grab at the back, grab at the back. It's very fragile.
High intensity, high intensity.
Yeah, so we got it down.
Sorry for yelling at them.
We don't think we broke it, so that's positive.
Yeah, I'm so proud of us.
Next move is to thread the new one once we pick it up from FedEx.
Yeah. Luckily, our friend Nick had just redone his rigging, so it was such a godsend that he could help us walk through what we needed to order and who to order it from and how to get it shipped to a tiny tropical island in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, next. Call Mike the rigger.
We're gonna leave Turks and Caicos.
So thankful for getting linked up with Mike, the rigger in Turks and Caicos. He became our rigging mentor, and it was so amazing having him there for us when we needed him.
Mike walked us through the whole process of rethreading the forestay through the furler, which was very technical because he kind of said you get one shot at doing it, and if you mess up, then it's like you got to open the whole furler up, and then things get really sticky. So he came for that part and helped us cut them and showed us how to do the high mod fittings, and taught me a lot. It was great.
You cut away most of the wires so that you can put a piece of rope and tape it onto the old top of the forestay. And then you do the same thing on the bottom of the new forestay, and you attach a rope between the two, and you have to make sure that those taped ends aren't very wide because the inside of the furler is really, really thin. And then you use the old forestay to pull the new forestay into the furler. Nice, done. We got our forestay and our baby stay from Hain Rigging, and we got, the baby stay has a swaged on T bracket to go into the mast, and then a high mod fitting on the bottom. And then for the forestay we got a swaged on marine eye with the same high mod fitting on the bottom.
Once we threaded the wire through the furler, we attached the high mod fitting underneath the furler drum. That entails opening up the wire and making this like bird cage and attaching it to the washer that comes with the whole fitting, and then screwing the fitter over top of the washer and tightening it.
Yeah.
The high mod fitting goes at the bottom of the stays, and then that goes into the turnbuckle that you tighten the stay with and attach it to the deck.
This is the baby stay completed. Mike just showed me how to do the forestay, and we did that together. And then he let me do this one. I got to do it, and he was just kind of assisting me, which is really cool. So now I feel like this piece will go into the turnbuckle, and then we'll tighten it up. So I'm gonna go up the mast right now and put it in.
You're a rigger, Harry.
I'm a rigger, Harry.
It is day 2 of our rigging school practicum, and yeah, I'll show you how it goes.
Next we're going to pull the forestay back up in the opposite order that we put it down.
By the time that we were raising the forestay back up onto the boat, we'd created quite a crowd in the marina, and people would come by and sit and watch us work. And it was great because we had so many people offering to help, and we had a whole little cheering squad too.
It was interesting to watch the girls become the dock entertainment. The guys were buying cases of beer sitting on the back of their boats. The guys in the bar were cheering. It was great. Got them all off their iPhones for the afternoon.
Well, we have a bit of a distance to get it. It's unfortunate. Hey Tito! Yeah, how are you doing? Good. It's Tito, my friend from immigration. I gotta put the pin in the top one first and see if we can then... It's like looking for lip balm in your purse while you dangle in the air with your legs that are numb. But your purse is filled with hammers. We got all my caught up pins. Okay. Okay, so the first piece is in, but the furler is about 3 inches away from where we want it to be. Hold on to that dynamo, Ellie. Okay, can you step towards the bow with it? I just can't find a little tiny fucking washer. Okay. Watch out! Fuck. Welp. At least in the drink. Oh, there's your butt. Yeah, it went right there. Yeah, right by the rope, between there and the boat. There's like 12 jellyfish right here. Gross. Do you want the spatula? Update, there's a fray in the line that's holding me up, and now I'm stuck up here.
I was pretty confident in Joss going up the mast multiple times because I've seen her rock climb and I know she's very competent. When we noticed the phrase in the halyard holding her up, though, we were a little concerned. At that moment, we just kept quiet because there was no point in telling her. We only told her when it got jammed. We had to.
Great.
We almost had it. And then a pin fell in the water.
Again, into the powdery mushroom bottom.
Yeah. We both got stung by jellyfish.
We're
trying to find the pin.
Unsuccessfully.
Could not find the pin.
Now we are on a standstill because it's our only 5/8 inch pin. So we need that. So now our halyard's just tied up by a line that's slowly bending the wire. So now we have to go up there and fix that so we don't royally F up our forestay that we just made. We had some moves today, but then it's like when you're doing a boat work, you get you know, this step, that step, this step, things feel good, and then just like someone hits you in the face with a bat, and then you're like, everything sucks now. Everybody cries. Everybody hurts sometime. Gryffindor! Choo choo, all aboard. Next stop, mental breakdown town. How are you doing, Cindy? Chug it.
I'm hot.
Choo choo.
I'm trying to hold it together so I can be a good example to my children. And I'm dreaming of cold alcohol when this is done.
Yeah, I've already dropped 3 pins in the drink. One has only been recovered. One was essential to the rest of this project, and now we are at a standstill.
Mike would go back and forth from his shop machining us new pins as we constantly drop them in the water. Thank you, Mike.
If it wasn't for Mike, we would probably still be in Turks and Caicos.
The final pin will be arriving shortly, and we are going to try and put it back into the mast. Final attempt. We plan on leaving tomorrow. We already checked out. Hopefully it works.
When we received the final pin from Mike at the end of the day, I asked him if he was going to stick around for the grand finale, and he was like, no, this is driving me crazy. And I was like, me too.
Good plan. Look at it.
Thank you. This is it. This is the last chance we got. My 84th time at the mast, I've decided to finally tie things to me. The essential pin we just received from Mike, and pliers and the cotter pin. It's like a what are those things you put over babies?
Oh, a mobile.
A mobile.
That's what your baby's mobile is gonna look like. Cotter pins and a set of pliers.
So we've dropped the pin from the mast twice and it's hit the deck and bounced into the water, not to be found. Well, one was found. We have 1 pin left, 1 shot, and we've kind of made it into a little playpen up here. So hopefully that helps.
It's a long way to the top. On a rock and roll. It's a climbing route right there. Going up the front side of the mast this time, just to change it up a bit. 1, 2. The creaking of this rope is very nerve-wracking. So what we're going to do is pull this pin out that way as I push the new pin in. There's nothing holding this other pin on anymore, guys. The glue came undone. I think you might have to pull the forestay up more with the spin halyard. Okay, come down. Okay, it's on. sunset.
5:55.
What time did you start?
8 a.m.
3 days
Four
ago.
days ago.
Woo!
Well, that's a drought.
As per usual, our weather window to get to DR was rapidly closing as we were finishing up the forestay, so we ended up putting the sail up in the night before we left the next day.
On the last night we were there, we went to go say bye to our friends and to the last jam night at the marina, and it was so fun just to be able to finally be done, to dance around and enjoy ourselves. Big thank you to Tim and Greg, my friends from previously being in Turks and Caicos, who totally took care of us. Just such a treat having great friends stuck in paradise.
We also want to say a huge thank you to everyone in Turks and Caicos who just made us feel like we were surrounded by family and a cheering squad. Big thank you to Tito and Guion at Customs and Immigration for all of your help. And thank you to Navarde and Julian and long-haired Tito at the office at the marina. You made it the best. The people always make the place.
When I got off the plane and thought I was going to be hopping on a boat and sailing for endless days immediately, I was a bit anxious, but after 2 weeks in the marina, I couldn't wait to go sailing. Absolutely super excited to see what happens next. I'm sure it will be an adventure.
Tune in next week for our sail to Dominican Republic, and let's see what breaks on that one.
We also just want to say a huge thank you to our Patreons. Obviously all this rigging is very expensive, and all 12 of you just really make us so happy, and we love sending you updates and hearing back from you about, you watching our journey. If you would like to be our 13th Patreon, this is how. You go to the website and the link is in the bio or in the description of this video, and you can choose between $3 or $10. Every little bit counts. We try to do weekly updates that nobody else gets, and also our spot tracker so you can see where we're at and our progress.